Welcome back to the Delegate Reality TV show. This episode focuses on our first session of the United Nations Security Council. In this session, we will see council members present their opening statements about the situation in Darfur. In the United Nations, this is how member states deal with a situation at hand. We will take a closer look at the profiles of some of our delegates. Let's see what happens.
My name is Abeku Hamon. I'm 14 years. I attend school at Dex Educational Institute and I'm in Form 3. I joined LIFELINK because of the encouragement my teacher gave to me. And I noticed that most people who went there came out with public speaking skills, confidence, so I wanted to also become someone like that.
Abeku Hamon has always been Abeku Hamon. You see, I had the opportunity to teach him from Form 1 up to Form 3 and has maintained the standard.
Abeku Hamon is my friend and he's also in my class. He's sociable, he's cooperative, and he's very intelligent. I wish him all the best as he's contesting for the program.
Abeku Hamon is my friend. He is the only student representing our school in the LIFELINK Delegate competition. And we are all giving him the support because he is very intelligent and we think he can win the competition.
Students who take part in LIFELINK conferences have to go through a number of research programs on the internet. So they learn to research on the internet, they learn to use the internet, they learn to be confident, they learn to articulate the various vocal words necessary to be used in the United Nations. And so generally they grow up earlier than they are supposed to because they are able to articulate a lot of things.
Excellencies, distinguished ministers, welcome to this timely and urgent meeting. I would want to relay to you the Secretary General's speech and remarks he made at the high-level meeting on Sudan in New York. The stakes are high for Sudan, for Africa, for the international community. The Sudanese people cannot afford a resumption of conflict. We must all assist them in finding a peaceful way through one of the most important passages in their country's history, unquote. This is what the Secretary General has said to motivate our discussions. I'm going to invite all delegates to make their opening statements, but I would first invite delegates to help me in setting the speaking time. Are there any proposals on the floor of the House? Nigeria.
1 minute, 10 seconds.
Nigeria has proposed 1 minute, 10 seconds. Are there any seconders to that proposal? Gabon.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Please, I think 1 minute, 10 seconds is a good speaking time. Thank you.
Delegates in favor of 1 minute, I would want you to show or indicate that by placards. Delegates in favor of 1 minute, 10 seconds. Thank you very much, honorable delegates. Are there any countries abstaining from the vote? Well, after the vote, we have 8 in favor of 1 minute and 7 in favor of 1 minute, 10 seconds. So by majority vote, the Council has decided that all member states make their statements within 1 minute. It is so decided.
colors of a rainbow, and I can feel the sun on my face. I see the light at the end of the tunnel.
I would invite the first delegate, the United States of America, to make his opening statement. Your Excellency, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Esteemed President, fellow delegates, my country has been making attempts to bring an end to this civil war that has brought about starvation, the pursuit of slavery, and other forms of human rights abuse. Despite policy differences, U.S. has been a major donor of humanitarian aid and has already allocated $18 billion in development, peacekeeping, and reconstruction assistance to the people of Sudan, and appointed the Major General retired J. Scott Gratian Special Envoy. The Gratian Envoy negotiated with Sudanese officials to allow the entry of 4 new NGOs to help address the humanitarian gaps. Esteemed President, in May 2007, the Bush administration had to impose new economic sanctions on Sudan, following the unabated violence that occurred in Darfur region. The sanctions blocked access of Sudanese citizens implicated in the Darfur violence and also sanctioned additional companies owned or controlled by the government of Sudan. Sanctions continue to underscore U.S. efforts to end the suffering of millions of Sudanese affected by the crisis in Darfur. Honorable President, my country would like to use this platform to announce to this gathering that it is 100% approval of the referendum and shall provide basic needs for it to be held. The United States of America believes that there should be strict impartiality if the international community wants this war to end. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, the delegate from the United States of America. The delegate from Austria, Your Excellency, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President, fellow delegates. An integrated approach to stability in Sudan, linking peace in Darfur to the preparation for the general referendum on the future of Southern Sudan, was presented to the Security Council by officials of the United Nations and the African Union in June 2010. The Austrian Foreign Minister, Michael Spindelegger, who met with his Sudanese counterpart, Ali Kati, in July 2010 and discussed the situation in Darfur and the South ahead of the 2011 referendum with him, noted that this could lead to the creation of a new state. He said that the stability of Sudan is vital for the whole region. A new civil war which could bring big grief about the population again must be avoided absolutely. Austria regards UN policy as a central part of its foreign policy. Indeed, many of today's challenges cannot be tackled by one country alone. Global problems require global solutions, for which the United Nations offer a unique platform. United Nations almost universal membership, its proven record in international non-certain, and its operational experience makes it the natural center for multilateral cooperation. Thank you.
I thank the delegate from Austria for her opening statement. I invite the delegate from Nigeria to make his opening statement to the Council. Honorable delegates, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President, and fellow delegates. An integrated approach to stability in Sudan, linking peace in Darfur to preparations for the January referendum on the future of Southern Sudan, was presented to the Security Council by officials of the United Nations and the African Union this morning. Ralph Buchan, Oluwo, and Imola said the Council had been informed on what must be done in the next year. With the elections now over, the business of inclusive governance must gather momentum to translate lofty promises into results. The African Union lacked the capacity to undertake all activities related to the early warning and conflict prevention in Africa's conflict zone. He expressed hope that today's consortium would help in that direction. Thank you.
Thank you very much, delegate from Nigeria. I would call on the delegate from France to also address the committee. Be reminded you have 1 minute. Honorable delegate from France, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Fellow delegates, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. The crisis in Darfur has already claimed over 70,000 lives and forced 1.5 to 2 million people out of Darfur. The United States has repeatedly tried to rally the Security Council into action, urging sanctions against the Khartoum government and deliberately using the term genocide, which requires action under international law. In July 2004, Paris opposed U.S. efforts to impose sanctions on Sudan, forcing the passage of a much weaker Security Council resolution. My country has consistently cautioned the international community against acting rashly and insisted on slow and careful mediation as the correct response to crisis in Darfur. France believes that if the Darfur conflict is further analyzed, it will help the whole international community to arrive at the center of the problem. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Delegate from France. I would invite the next delegate, Honorable Delegate from Gabon, to address the committee. Your Excellency, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Fellow delegates, Gabon, as a member of the African Union, is deeply concerned about the people of the Darfur region of Sudan, especially the women and children. My country has always frowned on the activities of the groups that were causing fear and panic in the Darfur region. My country calls on the African Union to speed up efforts, that is, negotiation efforts between the main militant groups and the Sudanese government. We are all one. We must say no to racism. This is the one step that we believe would take the situation in Darfur. Sudanese government should distribute the country's...
Honorable Delegate, may I remind you, you have 15 seconds left.
The country's resources equally among the ethnic groups in the country.